みんなありがとう。
Hey everyone, it's Mark. This is my recap for Pokémon Horizons episode 32, Lapras' Feelings for Its Friends. This was the 1264th episode of the Pokemon anime and the last episode before the release of the Indigo Disc DLC, and I'm going to try something out and stream myself playing the DLC live on Twitch. While you go click the link in the description to follow me on Twitch, I'm going to jump into the episode recap. So after Liko quickly brings us up to speed with the events of the last episode, we see that Liko is finally face-to-face with Lapras. She is speechless at what she's seeing, but Terapagos breaks the ice and starts calling out to its old friend. Lapras is taken aback when it sees Terapagos, but then it starts glowing, which I guess is just some power that Lucius's old Pokemon have because Terapagos starts glowing in response. After that, Lapras is kind of conflicted, but its gang of pirates start calling out to it. Lapras joins them, directing everyone's attention towards the brave Olivine. All the non-aquatic Pokemon get ready for action and immediately start to board the ship, ready to go through the rising Voltaclers in order to get their food. Our heroes aren't backing down from a fight, and after the opening plays, they have magically teleported down to the same level as the others. Their magic teleportation powers don't help them though, as they quickly realize they're outnumbered, and wow, I don't think I've ever seen Sprigatito react like that. They're only saved by Diana's Arcanine coming in at extreme speed, and wow, this was a really difficult screenshot to grab when I was playing the episode back at 3x speed. Freed also joins in to even the odds, and this next scene was really easy to get screenshots for because there was no fast-paced animation here. Instead, they took the easy route, just use a series of still images. Knowing they're probably going to be on the losing end of this melee, Lapras calls for a retreat. As the Pokemon run away as fast as they can, the rising Voltaclers give chase with Ludlow still at the wheel. The episode kind of grinds to a halt at this point because instead of trusting the viewers to figure out what's been going on themselves, they completely spell out Lapras' plan in great detail as if we hadn't already put the pieces together on our own. I'm not sure why they needed to do this much hand-holding in their storytelling, but let's just move on. The one good thing to come out of this was Diana naming the group of Pokemon as the Lapras Pirates, which really struck fear into Liko and Roy, which was pretty funny. It was also funny when Freed was like, hey, by the way, thanks for luring the Pokemon out towards the food, and Molly was like, WTF, Freed, why didn't you tell us that was going to happen? Yeah, classic Freed. Liko and Roy can't believe that Lapras would do something like this, as Diana steps in and asks if they think Lapras is actually doing something wrong. The kids say yes, but Diana doesn't think it's that simple. Just then, we see that the brave Olivine has nearly caught up to Wailord and everyone else. Free tells Orla to kick it into high gear, so they fire up the engine and really get the airship moving. Just as the wild Pokemon turn to fight, Ludlow tells everyone they've got this, and it looks like his Quagsire is taking its position at the front of the ship, ready for action. A ton of water guns get sent our heroes' way, but fear not, because Quagsire uses Surf to create a huge wave that blocks all the attacks. You know things are getting intense because we see Ludlow's eyes for the first time ever, and he calls for a hard right turn, throwing everyone off balance, only to then maneuver the ship to the left, as Quagsire shifts the waves in order to stave off another volley of water guns. This was honestly one of my favorite scenes in all of Pokemon Horizons thus far. I love seeing this naval combat and Ludlow stepping into the spotlight. Not even Cap could keep his cool in this intense situation. Eventually, Lapras calls up its pirates and has them keep going while it turns to face the rising Voltaclers. Lapras doesn't hesitate, flinging itself at the brave Olivine at max speed, giving them no time to react to this giant projectile heading their way. Lapras hits with impressive impact, hilariously sending Quagsire flying. What a great visual. It stares them all down through the window, a great reminder at how big and powerful Lucius's 6 heroes are. Then Lapras readies an almighty Ice Beam, and wow, like half my screenshots for this episode are just these shocked reactions of the rising Voltaclers. But how can it not be? Just look at the devastation that Ice Beam caused. The whole ship is frozen in place. With its job done, Lapras floats off victorious. Liko and Terapagos are devastated that it's just leaving them, and now the rising Voltaclers are kind of hopeless. Just then, they see another one of those floating crates. Wow, talk about good timing. Roy points out that it's the same kind of crate as before, and that gives Liko an idea. She runs off to her room to put on Lucius's belt. We've got a rare moment of Liko being extremely confident. Remember this rocky area from the last episode? Well, it turns out that's where Lapras lives. We see Lapras returning home, swimming past more of those empty crates from the previous episode, and it approaches this inlet cave, and we see Lapras peer around the corner to see its friends, but whoa, Lapras can't believe who's there with them. It's the rising Voltaclers. Yeah, Liko and Roy use their teleportation powers again. Well, not quite. Liko just remembered this place from the previous episode and had Freed fly them there with Charizard, but the episode just skipped out on that part. Lapras is outraged that these guys infiltrated their base, but Liko is like, whoa, alright, calm down. We're just here so you can see Terapagos, who is being the center of attention over with the wild Pokemon. This puts Lapras at ease, and Liko is like, alright, listen up. Terapagos wants to go to Rockua. She continues on this long monologue talking about how they went to Rockua with Lucius before, and she wants to take Terapagos there now. After saying her plea, Terapagos activates this crazy power, and this causes Liko's ancient Pokeballs to react. From out of the Pokeballs come Moltres and Arboliva. Wow, what a sight. Lapras is really surrounded by its old friends now, and this causes it to take a long, hard look at Liko. She really must be special to have brought all of these Pokemon together in one place. Tropicos breaks the tension by waddling up to Lapras and calling out to it, and Lapras responds by letting off this familiar looking ball of energy. I showed this scene at the beginning of the video. Our heroes have entered another one of Lucius's memories, but there's hardly any mist this time. They can clearly see Lucius off in the distance. This must have been the moment when he left his Pokemon and entered Rockua. He's saying stuff like he won't die, and he promises that he'll live on, and they will meet again. With that, Tropicos absorbs all of the energy as everything returns to normal. Lapras is left crying from this experience, and all of the heroes start calling out for Lucius. We really did learn something important here. Lucius made a promise with his 6 heroes. That's why they've been joining Liko, so they can fulfill their promise together. Feeling that their job here is done, Moltres and Arboliva decide to return to their Pokeballs, and now Liko has totally and completely won over Lapras. It calls for its pirates to bring out some food, and I guess it's time for a celebratory picnic. As they all start chowing down, the brave Olivine flies in from off in the distance. We learn that Diana's Arcanine made quick work of the ice so that they could all head over here. Murdoch comes out from the kitchen to announce that those donuts he promised in the previous episode are now ready, and yeah, now it's really time to chow down. Eventually, we focus on Liko and her grandma having a conversation. Diana explains that the Lapras pirates have their own special lifestyle, and that the human concepts of good and bad don't apply to them. Oh, be still, my beating heart, Diana. This nerd with a sociology degree could sit here and talk about the social construction of morality all day long, especially if the discussion focuses on how different groups build their own cultural norms. This kind of stuff is right up my academic alley. Unfortunately, we have to move on and talk about how the episode ends, because it's pretty awesome. Liko approaches Lapras once again and directly asks it if it will join them and keep its promise to Lucius. Lapras is torn, obviously because it doesn't want to leave its pirate friends, but they all make Lapras' decision for it, including Ambipom, who is Lapras' ancient Pokeball. The Lapras pirates surround their leader and give it a big send-off, so Lapras takes the Pokeball, throws it into the air, and lets itself back inside. And just like that, Liko has caught her 3rd member of Lucius's 6 heroes. Immediately, the wild Pokemon all jump on Wailord and head out, leaving the rising Voltaclers behind. Wailord even uses Mist, showing that their little way of life can continue on even without Lapras. And with that, we're done, right? Wait, what is that in the sky? Oh my gosh, it's Rayquaza! Yeah, the black Rayquaza has shown itself to the rising Voltaclers once more, now that they're halfway to their goal. With this shocking turn of events, the episode comes to an end on quite the cliffhanger. Wait, hold on, we still have Terapagos' sparkly exploration diary. This sensational piece of cinema follows Terapagos wandering into the hull of the ship at night, where it finds a group of Pokemon asleep. But when Fuecoco falls off the top box, it accidentally hits Snorunt, shocking it so bad that it fires off an ice beam all over the place, turning the floor into an ice rink. That's alright though, because Terapagos and Fuecoco have some fun anyhow, and everyone eats some berries together to end another wholesome entry of Terapagos' sparkly exploration diary. I could probably do a full-on breakdown and analysis of that tremendous bonus segment, but this is an episode review, not a Terapagos' Sparkly Exploration Diary review. So, getting back to the episode itself, I'll start with my rating this time. I'm giving this episode a 7.5 out of 10 rating. Saying that right now, I don't know, that almost feels kind of low. I mean, so many cool things happened in this episode. Liko catching another one of the 6 heroes, a shocking Rayquaza appearance that blew my socks off, and we even had that epic scene with Ludlow and Quagsire. The Lapras plotline came to a pretty satisfying conclusion, and I think the Some Stuff's translation for this title isn't the best, because Bulbapedia's title makes a lot more sense. They have this one called Lapras' Memories of its Companions, and to me, that fits more with what we saw out of Lapras and the other heroes. On to my critique, this wasn't a perfect episode by any means. Aside from that surprise ending, the rest of this episode went basically exactly as I had predicted, and since I was kind of one step ahead of this episode, it really made that scene where they painstakingly explained the Lapras pirate scheme that much more aggravating. But while they really dragged out that scene, they did the exact opposite when it came to Liko tracking down Lapras' hideout. I mean, I said they were holding our hands through that earlier scene, but then it just felt like they completely skipped a scene when our heroes had magically appeared at the cave. Obviously, they were fitting a lot into this episode, so I guess they didn't have time to show us everything. And I don't know, I don't want to be too critical towards what was a very good episode of the anime, just not an all-timer or anything. It was an all-time great episode for reaction shots. I can't even fit all of them into this review. Moving on to the next episode, and it's going to be all about a meeting with Rayquaza. It looks like Methio has tracked down this legendary Pokemon too, but he's no match for Rayquaza's strength. We'll also get to see Terapagos regain its terrestrial form, and really this is just perfect timing with the Indigo Disc coming out this week. It's kind of like they planned this, huh? I am really looking forward to playing the Indigo Disc, so make sure you follow me on Twitch so you can all watch my first playthrough of the DLC on Wednesday, Thursday, and however long it takes me to get through it. It wouldn't surprise surprise me if the DLC reveals some new information that is relevant to the anime and the plot of Pokemon Horizons, so I can't wait to experience everything the Indigo Disc has to offer. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already, and in the meantime, I'm just going to sit here and keep refreshing my phone until I hit 10,000 subscribers. Guess I better get to the studio so I can drop the greatest Japanese anime rap cover of all time. I'll see you guys next time.